Hey friends, it's Jessica from Three Rivers Homestead, and today is December 1st. And do you know what that means? Besides being extremely cold outside, that's why I'm all bundled up. December 1st also means that we are 1 month away from the Three Rivers Challenge. If you're not familiar with what that challenge is, I'm going to link a video in the description that explains it all. It's a pantry challenge that I began probably 4 years ago on Instagram. I had been doing it for probably 5 years myself, but I decided to document the process on Instagram 4 years ago, and other people decided to join in, and it just sort of became a thing that we do every year now. And then last year, I spoke a little bit about it on YouTube, but didn't really document the daily work that I was doing for the pantry challenge. So this year I'm going to do something different. The entire month of January, I'm going to show you every meal I'm making, breakfast, lunch, dinner, in like a compilation video every week to show you kind of how we eat off our pantry and how we use all the food that we preserved over the summer and through the Every Bit Counts challenge that we did, and kind of show you how we work through that. So I have a little bit of work to do to prepare for the pantry challenge, and in the video that I linked, it talks about a lot of the work that I do, but something that I am in desperate need of doing right now is organizing my freezers. When we had our beef heifer butchered back in September, I believe we got the meat finally, we just kind of threw everything in the freezers. It was kind of in the middle of busy preservation season, and I didn't take the time to really organize things. And then we've just been pulling meat out, and I have no idea how much I have left of various cuts of meat. And so today, as our first step in preparing for the challenge, my big boys and I are going to go through the freezers out in our garage. We're going to get everything organized, and we're going to make an inventory, and I'm going to show you that process. So if that's something that interests you, why don't you stick around? All right, it took us about an hour, but we got through all of the freezers out here, and we've got it all organized. Gabriel took a really detailed inventory for me. He's going to get that typed up, and David helped me organize everything in the freezers. Why don't I give you a quick tour? All right, so this is our commercial freezer out here. It's a true freezer, and it holds quite a bit, which is a nice blessing. Let me open this up, and I'll show you what we've got in here. Okay, so every fall we get probably 15 gallons total of raw apple cider, and I freeze it in the jugs. We're down to just 9 left, but that's up here on the top shelf. And then up here is all of our various types of soup bones, both ham hocks and beef soup bones. There's even chicken feet in the back there. So this is all to make broth, really. And then there's a little bit of organ meat, our livers, under there as well. Some frozen broth here, and then this is all fruit. These are bags of peaches and grapes that I didn't get to in the fall that I'll take my time and process here over the winter to turn into juice and jelly and other various things. And then right here I buy my cashew pieces in bulk in like big 50-pound bags, and then I break them down into smaller bags to freeze, and then as we run out I come out and grab a new one. So that's there. All right, and then all of our different cuts of meat. This is all the pork roasts. Here is breakfast sausage. This is some ground beef. And then over here we have bacon, which is running very low. That's a sad thing. Down here we have pork chops. These are ham steaks. This is ground pork, and this is ground beef with some ground bison on the bottom. So that is what is in this freezer. Okay, and this is just our little chest freezer back here. This has mostly beef in it. This is all of our beef roasts are over here on these two sides. And then down here is the brisket and a few more roasts. And then all of the steaks are kind of under there. They're kind of hidden away because we're heading into winter and we mostly use our steaks for grilling in the summer. So those will be brought out next spring. And then just some random coffee and vegetables that were preserved over the summer, like my shredded carrot pucks and some zucchini and things like that. And then I like to have a space in my freezers where I can freeze bulk bags of grain. This is where, like, I'm picking up an Azure order next Monday, and I'll just stick my wheat berries and my other 50-pound bags of grain in here to let them freeze to kill any pests. So that is that freezer. Okay, and we also have an overflow fridge out here with a little freezer, and this is where I keep all of my store-bought bulk frozen vegetables. There's spinach, broccoli, some green beans, just things that we didn't preserve enough of from our garden this year that I wanted to have in store for the winter. And then this is a box of convenience diced hash browns that I get from Azure. And then the kids' Pedialyte freezer pops for if they get sick. So that goes in there. Okay, and then in this fridge, we took out most of the shelves, and this just stores our bushels of storage apples, and the fridge was too cold this year, unfortunately, and most of the ones near the top have frozen and will only be good for making sauce, so I'll be busy doing that here soon. The ones in the bottom are in plastic bags, and those will be okay for raw eating. Excuse me. And then all of my rendered beef tallow is up here that we use as cooking fat, and then some bulk carrots, and that's all that's in this fridge. Sad story here. I have this whole box here of brats. We get 3 pigs a year from a friend who is a pig farmer, and he takes them to a butcher for us, and we call and we give our instructions, and we've never ordered bratwurst in the past. This year, since we got 3 pigs, we decided to take 1 pig's worth of ground beef and put them into bratwurst. And we always, this butcher has always been great about my son's food allergies. We always make sure there's no milk or peanut anywhere. But unfortunately, the butcher made a mistake. He didn't tell us that they make cheddar brats in the equipment. And apparently the brats that he processed right before our brats had cheddar in them, and he didn't clean out the machine. And so there were a couple packages of brats that we opened that actually had cheddar in them. And thank the Lord that he was looking out for Gabriel, and I noticed the cheddar as I was cutting it for my son, my baby. I was cutting the meat for him and saw the cheddar in it before Gabriel was able to eat it, and that could have killed him. He could have went into anaphylaxis eating that much cheese, and he could have died. So big lesson learned. This whole box of brats now is not safe to have in our kitchen. We'll be giving these to a friend or a family member that will enjoy them, and the lesson has been learned. We will not be doing brats anymore. The butcher reassured us that there's not milk product or peanut product on any of the other equipment, just the brat machine, and he forgot to mention that to us. So big lesson learned, and it's just more motivation, I guess, to learn these skills ourselves and to hopefully in the future start processing our own meat so that we don't have to rely on a butcher for that. Okay, we're back inside, and the boys brought in some odds and ends that were in the freezer that I need to figure out what to do with. Let me show you what we found out there. We just found some random tomatoes out there. I don't know what year they're from, but I'm going to go ahead and cook those down into a sauce this week just to use them. Some chicken livers I'm going to use up. We found 25 pounds of soft white wheat berries. I'm going to thaw these for 24 hours, and then I can pour them into my bucket, because I'm actually out. I just ordered more soft white wheat berries from Azure, so these will go in the bucket, and then the new stuff I ordered will go in the freezer. And then took some salmon out for dinner. Salmon is what we're having for dinner. This is my favorite brand of salmon. It's wild for salmon. It's wild caught, delicious, sustainably harvested, and just the most delicious salmon I think I've ever had. And then we found a bag of pork fat that I need to render down into lard, so I'm going to get working on that later. Alright, the light is terrible in here, so excuse that, but we have one other deep freezer. Ooh, let's see if it can focus. This is a stand-up freezer. It's in our laundry area right next to the washer. Many of you know we don't have an electric dryer. We hang dry our clothes by the wood stove here in the winter to dry, and so this freezer fits in the spot where the electric dryer goes. So let me show you what's in this. It's mostly odds and ends. Alright, so this freezer is mostly odds and ends. It's just random veggies that are frozen from the garden. Things like freezer jam. We've got frozen peppers, garlic scape cubes that I made. just some frozen watermelon, lots of berries and things. There's tons of, this is frozen lemon juice from last winter, and there's a lot of that in the back there. Frozen blueberries and other berries. Just odds and ends that fit in here. This is mostly where I keep fruits and veggies and things I want to access for a quick meal. I'll just grab a jar of freezer jam and we'll thaw it for a meal or something. The boys got my inventory all typed up and I'm so happy with it. I actually got the idea for this inventory from an Instagram friend. Her username is absent.acres.mn, and she had made an inventory like this and I just thought it was brilliant. So let me show you how this is going to work for us. So this is the inventory, and I had the boys put boxes after each item to let us know how many we have in storage. So as we use things up, for example, as we grab some broth, I just check it off and it'll let me know how much I have left. So this will be extremely helpful. This isn't everything. I didn't do everything that's in our freezer indoors, but this just gives me an idea on most of our pork and beef and some items that are out there. All right, so this is just step one of me preparing. The next step will be taking a really detailed inventory of all of our canning and everything else we have, all the dried goods that are stored in the house. And then I have the rest of the month to get all that done so that starting January 1st, I can do my pantry challenge and we can just eat up the things that we worked so hard to store. I don't have to go to the grocery store for 2 months. I do it all of January and all of February. And it saves us money. It gets me creatively trying to come up with recipes using what we have, and kind of gets us out of the normal meal ruts, the same meals that we make over and over again. And I just love doing it. It's fun. Like I said, this is my 5th year doing it, and it's been a blessing every year. So watch the video in my description if you're interested in joining, and you'll learn all about the details of the challenge, and I'll be posting more as I do my other inventories, show you what else we have in storage. So all right, I hope this video finds you well, and we hope your family is blessed, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.